I'm the Professor, and I'm here with Bucky, and we're the classiest podcast hosts on the internet.
Woohoo!
You're not included, DJ.
I was just going to say, and we got the retarded droid in the background cackling.
Anyway, our first topic for the night is Google I/O. They've unleashed a lot of new information about their machine learning this week. My favorite part of it is the new Google Assistant, who can make your phone calls for you and speaks in a natural voice, which is a little bit terrifying.
Can we get that for DJ?
I wish.
Finally have him speak in a natural voice. And actually, even more interesting is the fact that Google Assistant has got a manners chip in it.
It does.
In amongst all the articles with all the information that they've been releasing, there's somewhere here Google's Assistant to include it's got an update on it that includes manners. So yeah, part of the Google Assistant thing. So
it even has a Johnny Legend voice pack.
Who is Johnny Legend?
Famous R&B. He's a famous R&B singer.
Okay.
Well, he can't be that famous. You're the only one who knew him.
Well, he is. Well, what was his last song? All I Need.
No.
All of Me. That's 2013. He was also recently in Jesus Christ Superstar.
I think you just start saying Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I'm crashing and burning.
Oh
man, yeah. The whole premise of trying to push it, he must be famous, even though we don't know him.
Well,
is ridiculous as some of those rap stars that they got out there. Or is it little weed, little idiot, little numbnuts, and little moron? The new Seven Dwarfs. Go look at those rap stars that today.
And they're all little.
They are. Little Bow Wow.
Oh no, he's not little anymore.
Little Tiger, Little Wayne.
Oh no, Lil Bow Wow's not Lil Bow Wow anymore. He's now Bow Wow, and I think he dropped rapping and is now acting now.
Ah, so he's grown up.
Yeah,
he's got the big boy pants.
What about Snoop Dogg, where he decided he was going to be Snoop Lion, and then he decided he could handle that level of responsibility?
Well, but let's just not go there.
Fair enough.
Well, there's just so much stupidity and idiocy. But getting back, with all the information for the I/O, what else is there apart from the fact that it's got manners? And
well, they have smart photo retouching based off machine learning. Smart Compose, which is a feature where the AI will recommend sentences for you when you type in an email. So you'll type the first couple of words and then it'll start coming up with suggestions.
So it's similar to autocomplete.
Yeah, but more extreme.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're kind of announcing the new Android version. Well, kind of releasing it. They've released a beta version on the developer preview forum.
It's Android P called.
That's what you do when you go to the bathroom.
No, he doesn't. He's a robot.
I think the biggest one I saw was Google Duplex. That's the biggest reveal.
Yeah, that's the assistant that's going to have manners and the ability to make an actual phone call.
Oh, that's assistant. Assistant's the
Google Duplex is an assistant feature.
Mm-hmm. That's for making the phone call.
Yeah, that is the feature that makes the phone call. DJ.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just looking on a bit further in the article here, and it's saying that they've partnered with some of the food chains out there, including Starbucks, Domino's, and Dunkin' Donuts, to streamline food line pickup.
Okay.
Does this mean that we'll see that Google has cornered the market with the police?
The police and the hipsters.
Go get your coffee and donuts quicker.
But then there are some features in Google that have been overhauled as well. As Google Maps has been overhauled.
But that's always been overhauled. They got 6 new voices. Oh, John Legend's the voice. Who were you saying before?
Johnny Legend, yeah.
John Legend, not Johnny.
Fair point.
For all those people who were
don't let him hear that, or he might come after you.
For all those people out there wanting to slap the DJ, I'll do
it. There's even
yeah, we've got the master password to the server room, so you can't hide from us.
There's even Chromebooks will have Linux support.
Actually, I saw something where someone was doing something so that Google Apps have got some of the Google App stuff is coming up with an entire, I think it was Linux, or one of those other server programs is being used to create an entire whole new support network for Android technology.
Cool.
Can't remember where I read that. Too much reading.
I think this week in this week in general, tech companies have been busy. I mean, not only Google has been busy. Just today, Boston Dynamics has been busy as well with Spot with the Spot Mini. Apparently, Boston Dynamics are planning to sell them.
What would be terrifying is Boston Dynamics teaming up with Google and putting their like Google Assistant and AI and stuff into Spot Mini. Because Spot already knows how to open doors. Just add a bit of Google and we have the ultimate assassin.
I like the idea.
I can see DARPA creating a prototype right now.
What do you mean? They've probably already got it.
Yeah, they probably already do. Anyway, it probably doesn't run on legs like Spot Mini. It probably has wheel or treads. They're just more reliable at the moment. But I am impressed with the Boston Dynamics stuff.
Would you buy one? A Spot Mini?
How much are they at the moment?
They haven't announced the prices yet, but they said that it will likely begin selling next year.
Okay, I probably can't afford one. But if I had like $1 million and a nice house that had a big yard for it to play in, then I probably would.
Although they're saying that the businesses that they might sell it to businesses for use as camera-equipped security guards.
Yeah, though didn't they have one of them at some hotel somewhere and it committed suicide in the pool?
It did?
Yeah, they had a drone that could person-sized drone of some sort that was designed as a security bot to just drive around, and it drove into the swimming pool.
Okay. I don't remember hearing that story anymore.
Maybe it was pushed. Could have been murder.
Although
was it in America?
Yes, I think so.
Most likely murder then.
You remember that hitchhiking robot?
We were talking about the other week.
That one we talked about last week, I think. Yeah, it got halfway across America and then some idiot speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Such a disappointment.
Actually, talking about droids and so forth, and we spoke last week about the expansion of the delivery bot system from one of the companies. Apparently, San Francisco doesn't like tech.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I have to admit I was quite shocked at this, but tech founders are taking their self-driving food delivery robots out of San Francisco to go to cities where they feel more welcome.
It's probably because the San Franciscoites are hipsters who don't want whatever mass-produced crap they put on the robots. They want their organic, homemade kombucha.
No. Apparently, a lot of people are complaining about startup companies and so forth, and then issues with transport and everything like that. So San Francisco's brought about the most restrictive regulations on delivery bots, and this is the city with people who are protesting wearing yellow t-shirts or something because they've got all those electric scooters now available, so they're not even having to use their legs.
Wow!
Except to stand there.
The funny thing is, this is the home of Google. Oh.
So there's kind of an interesting twist there.
Yeah. Anyway,
but where would they
go? AI. Oh, sorry. What are you saying, DJ?
But where would they go? I would like to see
anywhere. I don't think as a startup team you'd want to be in San Francisco because it's so saturated.
Yeah. Seattle is a market area.
Yeah. What surprises me is why so many tech companies start up in those cities instead of starting up somewhere where the rent is cheap.
With San Francisco, it's because the labor force is cheap because they've got so many illegal immigrants.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw a documentary interview or something where they were talking with about all the issues where Donald Trump was saying about wanting to deport all the illegal immigrants out of America and all that, and they were talking to different people in different areas, and they had a few of them from San Francisco who said all of our restaurants would close because if we didn't have illegal workers because we couldn't afford to. and why should we be paying more taxes when they're already so exorbitantly high and we're not getting proper roads? And I just sat there in complete amazement at who the person was, because hey, if you actually paid people who are paying taxes on the wages that are in, you'd have better roads and you'd be paying less taxes.
Yep.
And if your business can't operate without illegal immigrants, then they don't deserve to be, because they're not paying all the proper stuff.
Yeah, especially if they're being exploitive to the immigrants.
Well, from the tone of what she was saying, they must be, because
Yeah.
they'll be paying below the award wage and they're not having to pay all the insurance, everything else, like for retirement funds and whatnot. So they're exploiting them.
Yep.
And apparently, that lady was her family came to America, so she's been
Wow.
through it all, and now she's exploiting them.
The irony.
The American dream.
Anyway, speaking of AI, our next topic is a Doom AI that creates new levels for how old is it now? Like 20, 23, 20 years old?
I remember playing this when I was young, so yeah.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, I think it came out in 93. Yes, it did.
I remember playing in high school.
And we
was-
now know how old Bucky is.
Bucky showing his age.
I'm not ashamed of it. I managed to live long enough to get to my age. I'm proud of that.
Sooner
I've
or
earned
later,
the right to be a grumpy old man.
sooner or later, Bucky will be saying, "Hurry up, you whippersnappers!"
I already do. But this new AI technology, what was done was they had an AI that was trained to design new levels, and they actually had two systems that were operating against each other, where one was trying to create them and another one was trying to actually operate and play on it. So yeah, they had the generator and the discriminator were pitted against each
Cool.
other, with the first attempting to trick the second. So yeah, apparently they've used the data from 1,000 levels created by the wider gaming community, and yeah, apparently it took 36,000 iterations for the networks to generate something playable. So if we combine that with the Spot robot and Google AI, we have got an assassin who knows how to read a map.
Yeah. And knows how to operate a super shotgun.
He's
BFG.
I think Doom also has its own built-in level creation. It's called the Snap Map. Right?
That's for the new one, though.
So is it?
The original Doom is what we're talking about here.
No, yeah. I wonder if that AI will be compatible with the new Doom level creation.
You'd have to rewrite most of the code to get it to generate files that the new Doom could read. But I imagine you could keep the sort of the learning for the original, and I don't know if you'd be able to tie that in though. But if you could, that would be really interesting. You'd get Doom style levels in Doom 2016.
Oh, actual Doom in Doom.
Yep,
Creating a new level. It's called Doom and Gloom.
that was terrible.
Hey, puns are supposed to be terrible.
Not that terrible. Like people that aren't even hearing this are throwing up.
Did you hear about the Ebola outbreak? That was what your pun did.
You mean the new one that's coming out?
Yes, of course. And the new one that's coming. It's not a bloody movie.
There's a new outbreak. There's a new Ebola outbreak in Congo.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yep. Thank you for that, Bucky.
just took out his voice chip there, folks. Sorry.
So, what's the story with BMW?
BMW. I have to say I'm quite impressed with a lot of things, but a car stalling with safety issues is a problem. Apparently BMW is extending a recall after there's been complaints on there. It's actually quite a list of cars. You've got 312,000 vehicles that are being recalled from between, and yeah, it's quite. Originally, it was only 36,000. Yeah, it's now bumped up to 312,000 cars over safety, where it's stalling and so forth. And there's also some issues with their motorbikes too.
I'm not a car expert. That sounds like a bug in their engine management software, though.
From what I can see, it's apparently something to do with an electrical fault that also causes its brake lights to fail, resulting in installing on a dark road.
Oh, lovely.
So, that's just one of the issues that with one particular incident. But yeah.
Ah, yes. Looking at the article here, they started the recall after there were two fatalities of Ford drivers. A couple of people from the UK swerved to avoid a broken down BMW and hit a tree. and they've done an investigation and found out that lots of other cars have issues.
I have to admit, when I first heard about it was something to do with the lights and all that, I thought it was probably an issue with the indicator. Someone actually found where it was and started using
Okay.
first BMW driver in history to use a indicator. Probably scared someone, but yeah. There's this, and there's all, as I said, like apparently there's a massive recall on the motorbikes as well. That's another article, and yeah, UK's Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency actually quite upset because BMW's failed to actually go and discuss that with them and so forth, and some of that's the reason why that's led to the death of the person involved, and the English are going.
Yeah, and looking at this, they recalled 500,000 cars just in the US in 13. Oh no, sorry, I read that wrong. They recalled 500,000 cars worldwide in 2013. So that sounds like they're not doing too well recently.
Well, they recalled 500,000 cars in the US as well as Australia, Canada, and
Yeah, so am I
That's-
reading that right? That means overall
no,
that was
500,000 in the US alone. Is
Oh,
how I'm
okay.
taking that,
that's even worse then.
and then as well as in Australia, Canada. Very ambiguous article.
Yeah,
BBC One. You need to get someone to fix that. Yeah.
it's a scary article though. That many cars on the road being recalled.
Wasn't there a similar case to this with Mazda and Toyota?
That was the airbags case,
Mhm.
which
And
to me is less terrifying because
they-
that's mostly only the one car that's affected, not it's stopping randomly in front of all the other cars.
Yeah.
And they actually went and made sure everyone knew about it as soon as the issue came up. They didn't have it and then and not try and discuss it with the authorities and so forth. They actually made sure that they were chasing after it in an appropriate manner to let everyone know. So, whereas in this case here, BMW has apparently tried to not go and discuss with the authorities. So, yeah.
So this is going to be like the Volkswagen case then, with the same with the same pretext in terms of Volkswagen hid it from the authorities and they based a lot of-
I think you need to stop there because one was about emissions, it's about a safety,
Yeah,
and what you're starting to say is very dangerous to a libeler. So we apologise for the misunderstanding and confusion from the droid. Please do not sue us, BMW.
but
don't start talking. You just
Can-
dig yourself
can-
deeper.
No.
Conjecture and so forth about criminal activity is a dangerous thing to do. I hate it when we get people in the media doing it. We're not allowing it here. They make us mute you.
We will do it. Anyway, moving on the topic of moving things, smart luggage has been banned from traveling in aircraft because the battery, and it's driven the company Blue Smart. Are they the same ones we talked about last week?
no, that's
I-
a different. Nah, it's a different
It
one.
is a different one? Okay.
Yeah, it's a different
Well,
one.
the company Blue Smart has had to shut down because the design of their smart luggage means that you're not able to remove the battery pack, and
Okay.
the other companies apparently make models that you can remove the battery easily. So I
Then why not
don't
just do a
understand why
quick
they haven't modified the yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, why don't they just do a quick design modification to allow the battery to be removed? But that's apparently. I have to admit, I was thinking further about technology when you were saying about the fact this has been closed down, and I can see one of the American arms companies buying this to use it as a platform for following police or troops in situations and carrying ammunition and whatnot,
That would
weapons
be
or as a weapons
interesting.
platform, or use it for medics for carrying medical supplies or bodies.
Yeah, it's actually sort of covered in the game Armor 3. One of the futuristic pieces of tech is a remote operated vehicle, basically a drone, but it's designed as a cargo vehicle, not for carrying people.
Mm-hmm.
So the intended use is for stuff like carrying ammo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at this and like because it uses an app to follow your phone, so they could modify it to follow some other beacon that a person carries, and it cuts down on the amount of weight that a soldier has to carry in a combat situation or a police officer has to carry going into certain situations. And even more important, a paramedic who's running through an area able to carry extra medical supplies to get into
Or
remote
even
areas.
if the vehicle's big enough, having
Stretcher.
a stretcher, and you can load like an armored compartment. You can load a patient in and then send it home.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah, like, and remote rescues where they're out on trails. I'm sure they can beef up the wheels on these things so they can go into off-road areas.
Yep.
And if anyone actually takes this idea and makes it as a marketable thing, please just buy me a couple of pizzas and a new laptop or something like that. You'd be making billions of dollars out of it. So I'm sure you can afford to buy us some pizzas and some laptops.
Yep.
Amazon will be would be surely buying that tech.
Well, Amazon's already got something similar in their warehouses. They don't actually have a traditional warehouse where the people walk up and down the aisles to pick items anymore. That not on the same scale. They've got some of that happening still, but most of their warehouses now, the inventory sits on special pods that actually go to the picker to save time.
Yeah,
So
I think
as soon as they're picking an order, the bits and pieces for that order start moving to that person, and they take the items they require, and then the pods move off to the next person with an order for that item or back to storage.
I think Bucky was saying that last week as well when it comes to the delivery robots as well. How the BMW factory was it BMW?
Yeah, I wasn't saying about they've got little droids that are delivering stuff around the place, but yeah, like I was just looking at this, the idea with this smart luggage, the whole applications of this technology is just, it's phenomenal.
The potentials are endless.
Because you could even actually attach this to a drone aspect to it. Like they've got drones that are carrying larger and larger weights. So you could actually have a drone that tracks a technology, a beacon from a person. So for remote rescues, you have a rescuer going into an area, and the drone comes in to home in on the beacon that they've got, and it has all the medical supplies and stretchers and whatnot. And you can
that would save a lot of weight for the rescuers as well.
Yeah.
Well, you probably have to carry it as part of the helicopter and whatnot, but it increases the ability for them to get into remote areas and rescue someone without the risk of the line tangling and whatnot, and being able to get in and out quicker. So you can have a larger helicopter that sit in a safer position, and you have one or two people that go down to do whatever they need to, and the drone comes in. You put the injured person or whatever into a special capsule, and it takes them back up inside a larger helicopter, and they're able to get medical attention up there a bit quicker, but because you're able to have more people inside a larger aircraft.
Yeah,
that
would be cool.
It reminds me of Terminator Salvation. If any of you guys saw that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it, but just the whole premise of that technology, I can just see so many other applications. So I think it's stupid that they closed down. They're giving up too soon.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on in the background.
I reckon they'll find they'll find another benefactor, and
No, they've sold out to the company Travel Pro.
So yeah, they're moving on to something else.
Yeah,
they're ditching this and going somewhere else, which is a shame, because all these ideas, where if they just thought of it in a different manner rather than just luggage, it's sad. Sorry.
It's the death of a company when you're being barred by legal work.
Well, it's not even just that. It's they're giving up at a crossroad instead of thinking, well, okay, we can't go there. What else can we do? They're abandoning tech that can have world-changing implications with just minor modifications. Like they already got a suitcase that's made out of armored plastic running around the place following people. Okay, so let's boost up the size of that suitcase into being a capsule that's a stretcher or two in it, and you can have it with all the medical supplies. You can carry people in it for a paramedic.
Yep.
Hey, presto, cut down on all that getting about the place quicker.
But anyway, since we're speaking of travel, our next topic is Norway, where they are making the fjords the world's first zero-emission zone, and are banning combustion-fueled vehicles from the fjords.
I have to say, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I do too. I've been to the fjords, and they're absolutely stunning. But apparently, if you go there at the wrong time of year, the smog from the ships just fills them up.
Mm-hmm.
Although that would be a bit problematic in a sense of cutting down the number of people getting there.
No, This
reckon
is
so.
this is one of the first major ocean-going nations. Like with when you start looking at Norway and Sweden and so forth, they really took ocean-going to a whole new level with how they did things.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, the
is they're
Vikings got
just saying
everywhere.
this is just saying, hey, you know what? We've got to step up. We're being appropriate and world leading in green technology in every other area of our life. Let's step it up on this as well now. So it's just, it's literally just the next step of the evolution. Like they've got all electric ferries to help cut emission. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'd be excited to see that, because an all electric ferry, it sounds off the unbelievable
it'll be so
based on
much
current
quieter.
technology, with the weight of the battery and all that. But I'd be really excited to actually see that ferry.
But it'll be
And
so much quieter as well.
yeah, and I'd love to see it scaled up to a cruise ship, even if it's just for short hops around the coast, like like the tour ship through the fjords.
Well, they're already using, well, they have been using electric technology for driving ocean-going vessels when you look at submarines and so forth. So the conventional submarines that Australia uses have
Oh, yeah,
electric
you're right.
drive systems. They don't operate for ridiculously extended periods of constant operation because you can't have a solar panel underwater. Whereas these are looking at having solar panels on the roof or something to help generate electricity. But yeah, like you could also have tidal flow generation stuff on the side of the boats to help push
Yeah.
extra electricity in. So as it's driving along, it's generating power as well.
Sort of a energy recovery.
Yeah, like electric cars have got it for when they break that it stores energy.
Oh, that would be cool, actually. Yeah, you could reverse the drivetrain and turn the props generators to slow the ship down.
Well, also with they reverse the pitch. It's called when they change the speed and the rotational direction, which is what they used to for the all engines back to slow the vessel down. But I posted on the Facebook page about the little camping tidal flow generator you chuck in a creek. You could have something like that on the side, like in a larger size. So you could have a number of those along the side of the vessel towards the front, capturing the flow of the water as it's moving through, pumping electricity back into it as it's driving.
Okay.
I think I've just come up with another major idea for you wanted a cruise ship that's electric. That's how you do it.
speaking of electric ferries and transportation, you guys ever remember the old hovercraft ferries?
They're still going.
The ones from Sydney? No, wait, those
No,
weren't
no, no.
they were hydrofoil.
They were hydrofoils. The hovercraft. Well, I'm not sure. They're still going, aren't they? They used to have them running between England and Europe.
Cool.
These were like massive vehicles. You used to carry a couple of hundred people in cars. So, and I know Russia's still using hovercraft technology as troop deployments. Yeah, so they're still being used.
Could you see them being used on Norway as well though?
Not in because they for an extended operation you got to have a massive amount of electricity, like a massive amount of power to drive those. So yeah, the batteries and so forth required for that could be pretty interesting.
That'll be a good combination.
But you would be limited on the opportunity for power generation there to only solar power or wind power, because you got to cut down on the drag and all that sort of stuff. Although there is like a hover plane, like a cross between a plane and a boat, where it goes at a low distance just above the surface of the water.
That's a hydrofoil.
No, it's actually free of the water.
Okay.
It actually gets lift. I actually had an idea like that when I was younger.
Chronoplane.
Yeah, I had an idea like that when I was younger, and I was sitting there and I was working on it with a friend, and we actually built a scale model where we got a remote control boat, and we got a toy hang glider, and we managed to mount it on the top, and yeah, we actually got it to work, and the boat was skipping along, and it was just the actual motor touching the water itself, and everything else was free. And yeah, we got a huge split with that thing.
Okay. Yeah, there's an old Soviet chronoplane called I think it's called the Baltic Sea Monster, or maybe the Black Sea Monster. But the issue is that they're really only effective on very smooth water.
Yeah, no, there's a new one that's coming out that I've seen.
You mean the Caspian Sea monster?
Yes, that's the one.
There's a new one I've seen somewhere. I'm not sure what it's called. Is it about? Is it Fly Shit? 26 million. Only links like huge, but and it's only an artist render. But I have actually seen one that's actually a real operating unit.
You mean the picture of a that looks like a blimp?
No, I just sent you.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty.
Looks interesting.
Yeah.
And there go my eardrums because the music came on at full volume.
Yeah, sorry about that. It did the same to me.
So most of these just look like concept. I know there is at the end of the video, there's a actual photo.
Yeah, there are actual ones that are operating. Like there's one that Airfish is the one I've seen that's actually operating. So
okay,
it apparently only carries 8 pads at the moment, but you could scale up the size of the product to cover all.
Yeah, that's I've got a link here to a video of the Airfish, so I'll put that there to add to the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Anyway, since we're talking about clear skies, our next topic is the ABC's World Record Stargazing Night. DJ, that's your topic, so what have you got to say about it? And also the space agency, actually.
Yeah, so as we all know, our country had recently the federal budget. Many people whinged and cringed at the reports, but an interesting detail came out, and that is the government is announcing $41 million in funding a space agency, and for the next 4 years.
Yeah, well, you got to buy the land and build buildings and start building spaceships.
Yeah, we did have a bit of a space program here many years ago, based out of Woomera.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven past the ruins of it, but there were actual launch sites built on the Salt Lake. Unfortunately, they're all torn down now because the big issue of launching from Australia is that we're a long way south, and that makes it hard to get into the most common orbits or satellites.
Because I remember there was a aerospace company that wanted to build a launch site for launching satellites and so forth at one point in Australia, and one of the areas they're looking at was once again Kakadu, and they wanted to buy a large area of land there and level it and concrete it and launch rocket.
Though Electron is based out of New Zealand and they have a successful site.
The feasibility of it is there. All the old space missions where they put men on the moon and so forth for the US had to incorporate a lot of networking with different countries, which included Australia. The Parkes telescope, radio telescope, was paramount to operating those programs. If you ever watch that movie, The Dish, they actually do that there in between playing cricket in the dish.
Good movie, by the way. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I've got to say, I enjoy some of those old movies more than.
Do you guys want to know the breakdown of the funding?
No.
Yeah, not really.
There's not much. There's not much to cover. Anyway. No, there's not much to cover anyway. But
so let's.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a good step. It's a good step that Australia is finally getting into the space race.
You mean finally getting
back in? We were in there.
A lot of the top aerospace people in the world are actually Australian.
I stand corrected. But even though I think, it's as you guys are saying, it does put us back into the space race, and who knows, we might have the first Australian on the moon.
Yeah, moon's boring. Go to Mars.
Yeah. Well, actually, there are a couple of research groups in Australia for space exploration stuff, and one of them is actually talking about building a base on the moon as a staging point for sending missions to Mars. Because of the lower gravity and all that, it's easier to launch a rocket from the moon to go to Mars than it is from off of the Earth. And some of the tech stuff that they were doing was they were taking moon dust to create bricks that were stronger than steel.
Okay.
And small amount of technology and hardware required to start doing that, and then tunnel into the moon's surface so that you could be building most of the base below ground rather than on the surface where you got impact from meteorites is one of the major concerns.
Yep.
That was actually a group of Australians who were doing that research and technology. So they had to simulate the moon dust, but had all the composition according to all the stats that they were able to get hold of. And you could literally, these bricks were just ridiculously impressive and easy to make. So I reckon if they're going to go to Mars, go to the moon first. Let's have a space station on the moon, colonize there before we colonize. Actually, part of that I saw somewhere during the week. Someone was talking about firing thermonuclear warheads to Mars for terraforming.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because the nuclear explosion puts
yeah.
dust and all that up in the atmosphere, and so it starts trapping heat into it and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And creating a climate base, and then launching asteroids into the Mars surface to get extra water and so forth. So they instead of just a small, and that's on the polar ice caps and not. So yeah, you wouldn't want to move there too soon with all the radioactivity.
That only takes to go away though.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen Godzilla?
Oh no.
We're going to be messing with Martians that are truly Martian crossed with Godzilla.
I can see
that would be not fun.
That would be a terrifying end to humanity.
Actually, if they do that, they could actually be starting an intergalactic war.
Could you imagine a Mars attack in real life?
Well, if you fire a thermonuclear warhead at them and they are hiding below the surface and camouflaged so we can't see them, yeah, they're going to come back at us.
Although I hope it's not going to be like Mars Attack the movie.
Pretty sure there's more than that for an attack from Mars. You got Martian Manhunter.
Oh, yes.
And he's not a hippie.
Again with the Marvel. Again with the Marvel.
I didn't say anything about Marvel. I just said he's not a hippie.
The subtlety is there. It was subtle. It's subtle. It felt subtle.
I know that, but I'm just surprised you picked up on it. Folks, this is a proud day. He's actually picking up on subtle insults.
But
you're going to stack around hair in funny places.
No,
yeah. Anyway, moving on. Since we're talking about space, the ABC's holding a world record stargazing attempt.
Yes. So, on the 23rd of May, on Wednesday. So, people around Australia will be gathering around local parks and the places to break the world record attempt that most people stargazing at multiple venues.
And it's only between 7 and 10 p.m.
Yeah. The current world record was set in 2015 by ANU, and the number was 7,960 people across 37 locations. So they're trying to beat this record 3 years later. So
I can go with that. An Australian beating an Australian for a record. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we're partnering up with ANU, Australian University, and we're going to break the record. So it's going to be held in all parts of Australia, from the Australian Capital Territory, ACTU, to New South Wales, Queensland, Northern Territory, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria. All states of Australia are going to be participating in. So
all states and territories. So everywhere that's in Australia is able to participate.
Yep.
Is that what the article says?
Yep.
What about the Cocos Islands?
Well, they're an Australian protectorate, or are they a territory?
No, I don't think they are a full territory. They're not on the flag.
Yeah, but the flag doesn't also include the Solomon Islands and Torres Strait Islands, and they're classified as
Macquarie
not
Island.
territories of ours.
Is that a like just an island, or is it a territory?
It's a sure thing.
Okay.
But yeah, then you got states that are still being called a territory.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we've got so we'll be hosting our own stargazing party over at. Indeed, we are. Buck has the info on that.
Yeah, but we're not necessarily going to make it as a. So if you happen to bump into us you know who we are. Cool. But otherwise, yeah, go check out the link. You can host your own stargazing party. You just got to have a minimum of 25 people for it to actually be counting towards it.
Actually, don't one of these links, doesn't it say registrations have closed?
Have they?
Yeah, you can still register as a participant in existing star party, but you can't host it.
It's now closed, yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. So, well, you have to go to the website and actually register go to one of the existing parties
and help beat the record.
And luckily, the nearest one is over at Roma Street Parklands.
Seems like an odd place to me because all of the light pollution.
Yeah.
But
which
Dr.
is
Carl and Jimmy Giggle are going to be there, and we all know how much the DJ likes Jimmy Giggle.
Because I love to giggle a lot, yeah. But yeah, the tickets will be tickets are at the
No, no
event.
worries.
Very funny. So the tickets vary from $0 to $143. That's how much the tickets, guys,
tickets for what?
for the stargazing party.
What do you get if you pay?
So so for
Do you get
example,
Jimmy Giggle's autograph?
for the yeah, we might actually.
Did you get a belly rub from Jimmy Giggle?
Maybe if you're
No,
lucky, Hoot will be there as well.
Oh,
We know how much you love that male-to-male contact.
okay.
No, I don't. What is he going to be there too? Wow.
Wow.
He will be on Orion's belt. Anyway, so if you $6.50 for a single world record participant, which is and you purchase one telescope, that's $6.50. For the $165 one, you get a group world record participants, and you get 20 telescopes.
So they're providing telescope.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
$6.50.
Yeah. For a single.
Toy. Toy telescopes.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Probably plastic with really shitty lenses.
Mm-hmm.
I've just spent the afternoon building the telescope that my mum's guide group has, and I can't imagine it would be anywhere near the quality of that, and that thing $50.
Well, if you go to Facebook Marketplace, there are a couple of telescopes, and they cost around like $100,
Okay.
$60 to $100.
Do they have any droids for?
Probably they might be.
We might be able to get an upgrade.
Anyways, the events, the ticket places where to buy tickets will be posted on the show notes as well, and it'll be a fun night. I reckon there will be a lot of people. There will be a lot of people that day.
Okay, so Bucky, who are our famous birthdays for the week?
Famous birthdays for the week. We've actually got a pretty big list this week. It's actually quite an impressive number of people who've done quite impressive things. First up, we have Wilhelm Killing, the German mathematician, who I'm pretty sure the DJ scratching his head going, who? Do you know who he is, DJ?
Nope, no idea.
You don't know the guy. He's made massive contributions to algebra and Euclidean geometry. There's actually a Killing equation. It always stuck in my mind, the Killing equation. But yeah, and then there's also Fred Astaire, who is having his birthday. Irving Berlin, the songwriter for White Christmas. For the art lovers of the community, we have Salvador Dali, and then there's the equal opportunity aspect of it. We have Natasha Richards. It's her birthday this week. Florence Nightingale and Katharine Hepburn.
She was a good actress. She was a good
Mm-hmm.
actress in the day.
And an event of interest, though, just while I was looking at the birthdays and so forth, came across an event of interest. 1913, this week, first 4-engine aircraft built and flown by Igor Sikorsky of Russia.
And Sikorsky is still one of the world's biggest helicopter manufacturers.
Yep.
I don't know if they still make fixed wing, but they are still around.
So you got a good list there of some majorly impressive people that have done some pretty big contributions to entertainment, science, and humanity. And then you've got a fantastic advancement in technology with the four-engine plane. So that's my shout-outs for birthdays this week.
Impressive. Very nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I found looked up the Wikipedia article on Sikorsky here. They haven't made a proper fixed wing in 70 years, but they are still in helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Just looking at Wilhelm Killing on the Wikipedia page. Just there's some of the bits and pieces that he's with the theories and whatnot he came up with are still major groundbreaking things. Are still helping to solve other equations to this present day. So yeah, and he exhibited the character equation when he was only a massive, like a real particular equation that was really hard when he was only 3 years old.
Cool.
So he was a prodigy from when he was young.
That's an achievement. Big 3 years.
That's pretty
Whether or not he
crazy.
knew what he was doing, or it was just he was just playing with some bits and pieces with crayons or whatnot. But then again, he is a German scientist. We all know that Russia were fighting each other at the end of World War II.
Yep.
The Cold War was
Operation Paperclip.
Oh yes, who could forget
everyone
that?
was fight. The Russians and the Americans were fighting. My German Jewish science is better than your German Jewish.
And the space race was born as well.
Anyway, that's all we have for tonight. Thanks for listening to us and the horrible noise that comes out of the DJ occasionally. Check us out on That's Not Canon Productions website. Listen to our episodes every week, new episode every week, and old episodes if you want to listen to more of us somehow. Leave us a comment and buy some merchandise so that we can afford to keep being unemployed people.
And get some oil into the DJ so he's
Yep.
less squeaky and more reliable.
And if you have any topics or feedback for us, you can contact us at nerds.amalgamated@gmail.com and follow us on Facebook at Nerds Amalgamated. We're also available on iTunes and Stitcher, and all of our topics this week will be included in the show notes below. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Good night.